Now is the time for all good patriots to come to the aid of their country. This great nation was founded by people with a radically new and exciting idea that human beings are created equal, that we all possess certain unalienable human rights, and that government's main job is to secure those human rights for all people. And they knew that the only way to make such a government work was to educate the citizenry, to make sure that they had accurate and honest information, and then to let them choose the people who would make the laws and operate the government. And it has worked more or less as intended for more than 2.5 centuries. Now, the founders did not expect us to coalesce into two political parties, but that's what happened, and well, most of the time it's worked out pretty well. But recently, one of our political parties has gone rogue. Today's Trumpist Republicans do not believe that we were all created equal. Today's Trumpist Republicans want to take away our hard-won human rights. Today's Trumpist Republicans believe that government's main job should be to make sure wealthy corporations and aristocrats are free to plunder and exploit the American people. So, they have flooded the media with grotesque propaganda, hoping to con as many people as possible into believing one of several false ideologies. And then they set about finding ways to keep people who do not buy into their anti-democratic program from being able to vote. And when, in spite of all these shenanigans, they actually lost the last election, they tried to take over our government by violence and make the outgoing president into a lifetime dictator. Well, that didn't work. So they have been doubling down on their efforts to rig the election system. And of course, to deflect from what they are doing, they accuse the Democrats of doing something similar. But every time they go to court, they have to admit they have no evidence. And they are having a lot of success in some states. In this year's election, a lot of anti-Trump votes may not be counted. If the vast anti-Trump majority of the American people want to win this election by 51%, in this rigged election, we may have to actually outvote the fascist Republicans by 65%. Yeah. Now, this is not a national election, and there will be some anti-fascist, non-Trump supporting Republicans running. And, voting for them is not going to do any harm. But a lot of those Republicans are pro-Trump, anti-democracy. And if you are a patriotic American, if you believe in the principles upon which this nation was founded, you got to do a few things. And it's really important this year. Number one, get in touch with your Board of Elections and make sure that you are still registered to vote, because they've been trying to get rid of some of the voters. Do whatever is necessary to vote. If you're voting by mail, make sure you read the instructions carefully and send your ballot in early. And if you are voting in person, make sure they haven't moved the polling place, and get there early. And stand in line as long as you have to, even if it means you're going to miss a day's work. And go into that voting booth and vote against any Republican who supports Donald Trump and his lying, anti-democratic, anti-American propaganda machine. This election, and the one in 2 years, may be the most important in American history. Never before has one of the two parties been so anti-democratic. In the past, American patriots have suffered and died to defend our democracy, even when it was in less peril than it is today. So for us, voting and making sure our votes are fairly counted may not be as easy this year as it's been in the past, but it's the least we can do to secure the blessings of democracy, human rights, freedom, and prosperity for ourselves and especially for future generations. If the Republicans of Donald Trump manage to overcome the will of the people in this election, or even the one in 2024, our children and our grandchildren's votes will not matter any more than those of the citizens of Nazi Germany and today's Russia. Patriots, arise! Democracy is in danger. Vote. Thank you all for your attention. Hope you've enjoyed it, hope it's been helpful, and I hope you'll join me again sometime. All of my videos are available at www.daffwold.com.